Welcome to the Expat Woman News, Reviews, and Trends. I'm very excited to be kicking this off. Let me know in the chat where you're calling in from and if you can hear me, because this time I am going live without my headphones. Hopefully, there won't be much outside noise. So let me know in the chat, can you hear me? And where in the world are you joining me from? All right. So hopefully, I see someone just left. So hopefully people can hear me. Not okay. So while I wait for that, I will just keep talking a little bit about what I am doing today. Maybe I should ask you in the chat if you can hear me. If you're watching this, can you hear me? Can you let me know in the chat? If not, I think I'll plug in my headphones because I'm not seeing anyone commenting in the chat if they can hear me or not, and I don't want to waste too much time. So maybe I will just plug in my headphones, and maybe I should have tested this beforehand, but okay. All right, so I have my headphones on. Still, no one telling me in the chat if they can hear me or not. I really wish someone would comment in the chat. Just here, can you hear me? Can you look at the chat? All right. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and hopefully at some point someone will say if they can hear me or not. So today I'm going to start by reviewing a few products. I'm going to be talking about these marshmallows. If you live in the US, have you seen these? These are called Peeps. And this was actually very interesting. When I moved to the US and I came across these, I had never had them before. And I tried one of them, and you have like a culture shock with food. And these Peeps, trying these Peeps were a little bit of a culture shock. They're like marshmallows, but they're kind of fluffy. It just had a totally different a flavor that, than anything else I've ever had. And when I was preparing for this YouTube live stream, I decided to uh, check it out, okay, and learn more about it. And I found that Peeps are mostly US thing, unless you go to an international store abroad. And they were created in 1950 by a company called Rhoda Candy Company. So these Peeps were created originally by Rhoda Candy Company in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And can you believe this? Each chick took 24 hours, sorry, not 24, 27 hours to create, because they were piped and decorated by hand. Okay. So they were named because they were shaped like baby Peeps. Um, and a peep is a sound a chick makes. So it took 27 hours to make one of these Peeps. Okay. And then in 1953, there was a guy called there was a company called Just Born, and it was founded by a Russian immigrant named Sam Born. And he bought this company and he changed how quickly Peeps could be made. So they developed a machine that could mass produce these marshmallow chicks. So instead of 27 hours to create one Peep, they took like just 6 minutes to mass produce it, not even one Peep. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I had no idea about it. And of course, it was an immigrant who created this, which I thought was also interesting. Okay, so that's about Peep. I still don't see anyone in the chat talking about whether they can hear me or not. And so hopefully there is sound with this. So anyway, so that's the story of Peeps. And since then, Peeps has come out with all kinds of flavors. If you're joining me live, I'm talking about products, and I'm talking about expat international foods. And I'm talking specifically about Peeps, because when you move to a new country, sometimes there's a certain food you've never seen before. And I celebrate Easter in India, but there we'd have mostly Easter eggs. But here in the US, we, this Peep seemed to be the most popular candy. I mean, there's a lot of candy, but this is something that stood out. But anyway, once they started mass producing the Peeps, and then they came out with different kinds of flavors. So then they came out with there's a candy cane Peeps, and I had fun collecting all these. I'm not going to really eat them. I don't really like Peeps, so maybe I'll distribute them. Then there's this party cake Peeps. Um, they have Peeps. They don't just make them as chicks now; they make them as bunny rabbits. So I found this pink Peeps. I found a blue bunny rabbit Peeps. And then what is this? These are little purple chick Peeps. As I said, there was candy cane, there's party cakes, there's even sour watermelon Peeps, and then Rice Krispie treats Peeps. So they're all these flavors, and I just thought it was fascinating. And if you live in another country or you move to another country, maybe there are candies there that you've come across. Let me know, like, do you have something traditional from your country that you want to share in the chat, or in the country you moved to? Is there a candy or something that you have come across that it's like, wow, this is so interesting? Anyway, so that's the history behind Peeps, and a little bit about the variety of flavors. Maybe I will try a Peeps while I'm waiting for people, but I don't really care for them, so I think I'll just leave it. But anyway, so that's the story behind Peeps. Have you tried them? If you live in the US, have you tried them? What do you think about them? Um, was it kind of like a culture shock when you first had them? Um, yeah, just let me know. I'm going to check the YouTube, my phone, to check if it is going live on YouTube. Okay. Okay, so Lana says she can hear and see me on YouTube, but she cannot use a chat. I don't know why the chat is not working. That is really a pity, because I was hoping to make it, let me see if I can edit the chat and make sure people can join me in the chat. I don't know if I can do that here, because I'd love to see people comment. Yeah, there is a chat, so I don't know why it's okay. Malena has jumped into the chat. Okay, awesome, Malena, thank you. Lana, if you've joined in, just you should see the chat, because look, Malena has joined us. So Malena and Lana, let me know, have you guys tried these Peeps? I don't know when you joined. I was talking about them for a while, but have you tried these? And what about the country that you are originally from? What are some traditional Easter goodies? I know in Poland, where Malena is from, I think they'll make like a lamb, like a dessert in the shape of a lamb, maybe. So yeah, let me know. And then Lana, what about your country? Do they have any special uh, treats that people create? And if you can't do it in the chat, you can send me a LinkedIn message, and I can read out what that is. So anyway, so that was a little bit about Easter treats. As I said, this is the my first foray into doing like a YouTube live on product reviews, news, and trends focused on the expat and international living lifestyle. And so Marlena said, yeah, lamb from sugar as a symbol of being a god lamb. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen a post from Polish folk where they have pictures of the lamb. But I haven't had one. I haven't tasted one. I did go to World Market. I was hoping that I would find Easter goodies from different countries, especially the lamb. And do you guys make that from? Did you make it this year, Marlena? Do you make it from scratch, or do you buy real one? And I've also seen people have a porcelain statue of figurine or whatever you call it of lambs on their during Easter as part of their decorations. I've seen that as well. It's very interesting. I'm just fascinated by, like, any holiday that's kind of international, how it's celebrated across countries, the kinds of foods, the kinds of desserts, the kind of goodies. And I think it's really important to learn about it as well, because it's such a great way to, uh, you know, build that cross-cultural and cultural intelligence. And learning about it just kind of broadens your horizon. And I think for us expats, sometimes when you've never moved out of your country, maybe you travel, but it's not the same as when you live in another country and then you come across these, different products. Like for instance, Christmas may be celebrated differently in different countries, or even I know there are folks who celebrate Eid or Ramadan, which these are all because they are festivals that cross borders, that transcend borders. And even though they are maybe for a specific religion, how they're celebrated, and even non-religious people might celebrate any of these festivals. I know Christmas and Easter aren't just celebrated by people who are Christian, but also non-Christians as well. And I have partake in during Ramadan when they break their fast at night. I have gone to a couple of those, and really enjoyed the food and the camaraderie. I've even participated in a cedar meal. So it's just, yeah. So multicultural foods, multicultural celebrations just broaden our horizons, help us build what's called cultural intelligence, make us more open to other cultures, make us more understanding and empathetic. So I just love it, and that's why I thought in today's, I'm going to do this once a month on the last Thursday of the month, is expat news, trends, and reviews. And I want to review food products. I want to review, you know, things that maybe expat women could use, and then of course share news and trends. So Malena said they buy the lamb and they put it in the basket with eggs. Then they go to church, or to get it blessed with holy water. That's really interesting, Malena. I didn't know you guys took it to church as well. And where do you buy it here in the Bay Area? Maybe next year I'll buy a lamb. How, because I maybe I should have gone. We do have like a Eastern European store near where I live. Maybe next year I'll go there. Maybe they have it. But I was curious. I know you live in Sacramento, so where do you buy it? Do you order it online, or are there any bakeries that sell it? I'm very curious to know that. All right, so we finished with peeps. Too bad you guys don't live too close to me. Others we could all eat these peeps together. I'm thinking maybe I will open one of these peeps so you guys can look at what it looks like. Yeah, I know it's a Polish tradition, Malena. I was just curious, like, where do you buy it in Sacramento or in the Bay Area? Do you order the lamb online, like, or are you making it? Oh, you're doing it from Play-Doh. Okay, so you can't really eat it. Okay, that's interesting. Anyway, I've taken the peeps out of the box, and I'm gonna try one of them. Yeah, this is what it looks like if you've never had it. And tell me in the chat, have you ever had a peeps? Or maybe your kids have. I don't really care for it. It's too sweet, but it's somehow very popular. I know people also microwave these peeps and do all kinds of stuff with it, but it's not something I like. Okay, so we've spoken about. I'm going to continue with a few product reviews because Mother's Day is coming up, and I know Mother's Day is not celebrated in every country on the second Sunday of the month, but I found at least 10 plus countries that do celebrate it. Of course, the US, I live in the US, so Mother's Day is a big deal here. It's on this year, it's on May 11th, which is also my wedding anniversary. But it's also celebrated in countries across Asia, Africa, Europe, I think even Latin America on the second Sunday of the month. And then some other countries have it on other days of the month or other days of the year. But it's in the US, like a lot of other celebrations, it's really become a big deal. I know it gets very commercialized. I don't even think we ever celebrated Mother's Day in India before I came to the US. But after I came here, of course, I sent my mom cards. I've sent her gifts, because I got just sucked into the whole Mother's Day celebration. So let's talk about Mother's Day and what tell me if you celebrated Mother's Day in the country you live in. What do you do, etc. So but I wanted to show a few gifts. So I think it's very important, either, to also celebrate yourself. And all of us are, you don't have to have children to celebrate Mother's Day. Maybe you're an aunt, a godmother of, you're great with little kids, you're a stepmom, or you just want to send stuff to your mom. But I had a few products that I wanted to share with you that could make good gifts. So let's start. I'm going to unbox this. I found this on Amazon, and I thought, I'm only going to I'm not going to mail this to India, because it'll get, I'm not very comfortable with the mail from in the US to India. But I thought I would send this to when I see my mom next, I would give it to her in person, or maybe I'd even keep it for myself, because I think we should spoil ourselves for Mother's Day. But I'm going to open it. Okay. You can't see me opening it because it's here on my lap and I don't have any place. Okay, so this is what it looks like. All right. So it says, you deserve to treat yourself. So you could treat yourself, and I'm going to share links to all this in the description. But it says, you deserve to treat yourself. And then the first thing is these lavender and chamomile shower steamers. The box is the box. So it's good I opened it, because I can fix it. So you put these in the shower. But yeah, lavender and chamomile aromatherapy shower steamers. Okay, so they smell really good. I wish I could share the smell across the laptop. Then there's this body scrub with made of coconut. What I liked about this was it all seemed like very natural uh, fragrances and scents and stuff I like. So then there's this little thing of dried flowers, so cute. So so if I did mail it to my mom, it would last, because the flowers, they're dried flowers. And then what else is there? There's a little lip balm. Okay. And the lip balm is a coconut lip balm. And then what else? There's a vanilla coconut soap. And what is it? Oh, and there's a scented candle. And let's look at the scented candle. So, whoever's joining me, let me know in the chat or in the comments. Is Mother's Day like a big deal in the country you live in? What do you guys do? Is it just cards? This is the scented candle. It's French lavender, handmade. Oh, it smells so good. It smells great. And this wasn't very expensive. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I really liked this. What it seemed very like natural and earthy, and all the fragrances that I liked. So that's one gift that you could give your mother, or treat yourself with it. Another one is this journal. I think for moms, journals would be great. And if you're just joining me, I'm doing a little product review for expat moms, ideas that you could, of gifts you could send your mom or even treat yourself. And journals are really great. This has like as you can see, kind of old fashioned leather cover, and it has, it's got this really nice handmade paper in here. Like my mom likes copying recipes. She doesn't really. I think she also likes to copy quotes and stuff. So I'd like to gift her one of these, so she can, if she finds a nice message, she will write it down in a book. And I know she just has a regular, ordinary one of those notebooks with lines on it, like a school notebook. But I'm going to give her a leather journal. I'll share the link for that in the comments as well. And then the other things, which could be for a mom, for yourself, which is something I use. So these are like all fake nails. So I think we sometimes we don't have I don't have the time to go and do manicures. So I don't know how good these nails are, but I've been getting nails for my getting these nails done at home, like putting them on myself. And then I even decided to do like fake nails for my feet. And we sometimes have to go to events, or maybe you're doing like a Zoom, or maybe you're going to get onto YouTube and you have to use your fingers and hands, and pedicures and manicures are also expensive. And as I said, you need the time to do them. And if you're, going to events regularly and you don't have, this could be a gift to give yourself, to give your mom. These are like the fingernails, and I like that they're just press on, and this one doesn't even have glue. So I'm going to try this as well. This has been a game changer for me. I don't think, my mom's not really into manicures and pedicures, so I don't think she's going to bother with even fake nails and stuff. And then what else? And yeah, the another product, if for the, if your mom is into selfies and stuff, again, I know that moms across the age range, but I got the selfie stick actually for myself. I saw a friend of mine using it, and she's a mom too, and she uses it to take videos and photographs of her daughter, as well as, she does TikTok videos and stuff. So I haven't tried it yet. Maybe next time when I do a video I'll try it. But I think it's really a cool gift, and something maybe you can gift yourself as well, or ask your kids to gift it to you, or your partner or husband or spouse. So anyway, so those are some products I wanted to share with you, and ideas from Mother's Day. Always curious how Mother's Day is celebrated in different countries, what you do, whether gifting is a big deal. I know the US, every holiday is like gifts, like Easter, you give gifts to your kids. Mother's Day, I know some parents even gift their kids gifts on Mother's Day. So I know it's very commercialized, but if you can give a gift that lifts your mother up, or lifts your, or for yourself as self-care, I think it's worth it. Okay, so that's with the products. I then wanted to talk about, like, I wanted to review one app that's helpful for expat women, and you can share in the chat, if there's something that you use, which is a game changer for you as an expat. For me, the number one app is WhatsApp. I think I find WhatsApp really very powerful, because I don't need to pay for it. It uses Wi-Fi or a data plan. I keep in touch with my mom every day on WhatsApp. I'm able to send her photographs of, what we're doing out here. So I live in the US, my mom lives in India, and I send her like photos almost every day of something we're doing, something we've eaten. She sends me photographs. We can do video chats, we can do phone chats. I can also create group chats with other family members across borders, across countries. Last year at this time I went for a wedding in Australia, for my cousin's wedding, and today actually is his 1 year anniversary, and we created a wedding group chat with all our relatives who came to the wedding. So we're all wishing him today. When we travel, we use a family WhatsApp. So when my kids are wandering around on their own in whichever country we travel to, I can use WhatsApp to keep in touch. So I would rank WhatsApp as one of there are many apps out there, but when I thought, since this is my first YouTube live reviewing products, and apps, I thought I would start with WhatsApp. If there's an app or a product that you are using that you think I should cover in a future video, just let me know in the chat or the comments. But yeah, I would say WhatsApp, especially because it's free. You don't have any, I don't think you get any advertising or anything. And you can also block people, remove people. So yeah, I just think it's amazing. I'm not sure if WhatsApp is not available in any country. I'm not sure about that. I didn't really research that, but it's still. So Malena said she likes the selfie stick. Yeah, I really like it. I saw this friend of mine using it, and she had an arm out, and she was like, taking a video and photographs. I just thought that was really cool. And it just looks nice. It's white. I've used other other little sticks, but this one seems to be very versatile. So I'm going to test it out and let you know, what I think about it. All right, so that sums up the reviews for this month. Thank you for your patience and watching, and I'd love to see more people jumping into the chat and letting me know. Before I do anything else, I want to know, Malena, since you are so active in the chat, let me know in the chat if I unplug my microphone, if you can still hear me. Okay, I know it takes a while, so I'm unplugging my microphone because this is the only way I can test it. So let me know. Uh, Not unplugging my microphone. I've unplugged my headphones. Can you still hear me? And if you're not on the chat, let me know on LinkedIn. I just unplugged my headphones. I have it up here, but I just want to know, can you guys still hear me? Lana, I know you can't share in the chat over here, but let me know on LinkedIn. Are you able to hear me? And anyone else who's joined me, let me know. Can you hear me? Let me send because this is, I can only experiment with this live, and yeah, no one's saying anything, so I have no idea if you guys can hear me or not. Okay, let me ask Lana on WhatsApp. Lana, did you get my WhatsApp? Okay, no one's saying anything, so maybe there's no sound. Okay, Lana's going to say something now. I see you chatting in the WhatsApp. I think the YouTube chat's a little bit slow, so yes, it's okay. You're doing great. Okay, so you can hear me without the headphones. Yeah. All right, then I'm just going to take them out. Why I like the headphones is if you have a bad hair day, it kind of covers a bad hair. But anyway, I'll own my bad hair. All right. So with that, I wanted to talk about some global news, because that's also something I wanted to include in this. So so I don't know if you guys heard, Italy tightened their citizenship by descent rules. So in the past, if you had any ancestor who was Italian and you could prove that they were related to you and that they were born in Italy, you could apply for Italian citizenship. But now Italy has changed the rules, because I think so many people were applying for Italian citizenship. And I know it wasn't easy, but now they've changed the rules where only if you can prove that a grandparent was born in Italy can you apply for Italian citizenship. So actually, my husband's great grandparents were born in Italy on his paternal side, and I kept telling him apply for Italian citizenship because he could apply, and then my kids could get it too. But unfortunately, he sat on it, and now he will no longer be able to apply for it because his grandparents were born in the US. So maybe I'm sure there are a lot of people like that affected, because every other person I meet from Europe, not every other person, but there are a lot of people who say, my ancestors are from Italy. So that's the news in for this month in terms of citizenship from Italy. The other one is in terms of work and career abroad. The country of Colombia is on the rise for digital nomads. So they are becoming Colombia is becoming the remote hotspot for folks who want to live there temporarily, expats, digital nomads, because it's affordable living, solid infrastructure, and it apparently has a very welcoming visa policy. And the digital nomad visa lets remote workers stay up to 2 years. I think it's really good, and I believe Medellin and Bogota are the two top places where expats are living in, or digital nomads are living in. So 2 year visa is pretty good. I'm not sure what the cost of living is, at least for us who live in the US, how it compares with the US. But there, sometimes it's not just cost of living. Sometimes people just want to live in a different country, experience the culture there when it comes to remote work. And then apparently Thailand has a new vacation push. It's making cities like Phuket and Krabi. I've been to Phuket. I've been to Pattaya, not Phuket. I think it's been so long. They are making those available for long stay digital nomads. So they're introducing co-living spaces. They're streamlining visa options. So those are the two places that I found that are trending in terms of countries that are encouraging digital nomads and expats to move. Okay, and then some more trends in the expat world for 2025 is American celebrities are relocating to other countries, and Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi, her partner, they moved to the UK, and then Eva Longoria, another actress, is splitting her time between Spain and Mexico. And this is according to the Architectural digest. So, more people are moving out of the US, and then for expats who have moved to countries like the Netherlands are experiencing a hard time finding housing. So there's an increase in rents, increase in demand for temporary accommodations. So keep that in mind. Again, this is just stuff I found on the internet. Do your research before you, either if you've heard this from me or you read this online. Always do your research. I remember before I came to the US, before I moved here, like I was going to study film in New York, and people would tell me how dangerous New York was. Even my future mother-in-law was like so worried about me being in New York that she had told my husband, that she told him to tell me to bring pepper spray, carry a, just to be very careful. And I was getting home every night at actually early morning at 2, because I used to edit the videos, and then I had to take the train to the place where I was staying, and it was really safe. So again, people might say stuff, but you need to do research. And in those days, that was 2002, I don't think there was any Facebook or LinkedIn or anything to really check with other people. Like, you had to just ask people living there how safe it is. Now, every time I travel abroad, I join Facebook groups so I can, find out which are the safe neighborhoods, what's the public transportation like, where to eat. But in those days, there was nothing. So anyway, so that's in terms of, like, always doing your research. And now it's so much easier to do research and ask people for tips and advice. And then another trend, the top expat destinations. Australia, Canada, New Zealand are leading the list of preferred expat destinations in 2025, despite tightened immigration policies. So they're attracting expats due to their quality of life and economic opportunities. Again, this one I got from the expat.com website. And then, according to NASDAQ, a growing number of Americans are considering moving abroad, again because of being so expensive to live here. They're maybe not happy with the politics here, or they want a better quality of life. And social media is amplifying this trend with stories of Americans building fulfilling lives overseas. So many of us want to move to the US, but there's a lot of folks, Americans, and even folks who moved here from other countries, that are now looking for other countries to move to. It's just also interesting. Let me know if you have any thoughts about this. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, Marlena said she can hear me. I see there are more people joining me. People seem to be coming in and out. So if you're just joining me, do introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from. Which city or country. If you have anything to add, I'm doing expat news, trends, and reviews. And I realized I didn't even introduce myself, because maybe folks will watch this replay later. So my name is Nyna Kaputi, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Expat Woman. And I just kicked off in April this weekly YouTube live stream to challenge myself to go solo, to go live, to get over my fears of being live, to build my confidence and get clearer on my on what I want to share with my audience. And I'm really enjoying it. And it's nice to see some of my regular guests coming back. So then Edelweiss said, what troubles me is also the experience where some, upon returning to the US from traveling abroad. I've heard that, Edelweiss, and I'm going to be actually traveling in July. My family and I have citizenship, US citizenship, so I don't know if we'll have any issues. But I have to say, even before this, so I got my US citizenship in actually during the pandemic. I think it was 2021, maybe. I just sat on my citizenship for the longest time. I've been in the US since 2002. I was eligible to get my citizenship when I got my green card, which was maybe 2003 or 4. In those days, it was much easier. And I married an American citizen. So getting a US green card and citizenship, but I just wanted to hold on to my Indian passport. I was also making a documentary film in India, and it helped to have the Indian passport. But what my family and I noticed, it was harder. Having an Indian visa passport was really hard. Like getting back into the US, and especially if you're person of color, I noticed sometimes the Caucasian people who had green cards would be, we put in a different line, and then people of color with green cards we put in a different line, um, and then also not just in the US, but even Canada, Hong Kong. Like, I experienced issues with my green card, and it was all legit, but my green card and my Indian passport just made things really hard. It's sad, even though Indians do so well in the US, we're not really welcomed that much across the world. Like most countries, we have to get a visa for. And so I finally decided I need to get my US citizenship. So actually, that's what pushed me to get US citizenship. So I did experience issues coming back into the US, even with my green card. So I'm sure it's even harder now. And it didn't matter which party was in power at that time. It was just the way it treated. And the interesting thing was, after I got my US passport, even in India, I was treated differently. Like, they seem to treat me better with a US passport. I don't know how things are now because I haven't traveled since the US has put in all these restrictions. But it's just the experiences. So yeah, so Edelweiss said, yeah, it's also Edelweiss very traveling too, because it'll also be interesting to see how, people now treat folks with US passports in different countries. Like, I'm uh, planning to go to India where my mom lives, and then maybe South Korea, Seoul. I'd like to see what happens, but yeah, it's a pity. You're going to Switzerland, okay? I went to Switzerland, yeah, and I think we spoke about this already. Yeah, when I we went to Switzerland 2 years ago, uh, we didn't have any issues with our US passports. So yeah, it'll be, and I think now you need a visa too, right? I think when we went, we didn't need a visa to Europe. Now I think Americans need visas to the EU countries, and I know Switzerland, I think, doesn't come under EU. But yeah, you just have to do your research. Things change so much every month, I would say. Just look with Italy. Italy suddenly introduced this new citizenship thing, and then I know that some other countries expect you to have uh, I know Europe has changed, because I think when we went, we didn't need. We went to Germany and France and Holland and all that. We didn't need. I'll have to look, because I think a plane on. If I'm going to go by this certain flight, we do have a stopover in France, and I think it's a 18 or 20-hour stopover. Now, Edelweiss, I'm glad you brought this up, because now I'll have to look and see, if we leave the airport, do I need to get like a visa, or do you get a visa on arrival? Yeah. But anyway, I'm glad you brought all this up, because you've got to constantly keep up with the trends, and all this stuff. If you're immigrating abroad, or you are even relocating or traveling, and I'm just giving you a little glimpse into it, but you've got to do your research. I find these Facebook groups also very useful. I use Chat GPT too to give me information. I Google, but I also use Facebook groups to ask people in the group. So, like, if I'm going to South Korea, I've already joined the Facebook groups. I haven't even bought my tickets. I hope I go there. But you can already start asking people for stuff. And if there are other Americans, asking them, what was it like when you moved, when you traveled there, or even if they're living there, etc. All right. So I now want to talk about, we spoke a little bit about cultural intelligence at the beginning of this live stream. I was talking about the foods, the international foods. I was doing little reviews of peeps that are so widespread during Easter. Now, of course, I think you get peeps for Christmas. I showed you the candy cane peeps, and how even food can help you build empathy, understanding, tolerance. Like, there are some people I've heard I haven't personally heard, but I've heard people say racist things to Indians sometimes, that they smell like curry, or they don't like living near Indians because their houses, or they can smell the curry. But I think understanding different foods and cultures is so important, and in learning to enjoy those foods. For me, actually, another culture shock. Peeps wasn't much of a culture shock. I mean, it's just candy. But like, when I had my first root beer in the US, I was like, what is this? This tastes like cough syrup, and everyone loves it. Over the years, I've grown to love it. Similarly with Thanksgiving meals, I found the food so bland, and now I've got used to it. I mean, I still don't really like turkey, but it's once a year and it's something different. but and I know my husband, who's American, felt kind of bad about it when I said, I don't like Thanksgiving food. So again, understanding the culture in each country. The same thing with him. Every time he comes to India, he's when people invite us over, maybe he doesn't like the food, but he has to show respect and just try it, and if he doesn't like it, just swallow it. But learning about the foods helps. But with that, cultural intelligence is really understanding, cu- you know getting a deeper understanding of cultures in different countries. Could be food, it could be how people interact with each other, customs, etc. So since we are in our April news reviews and trends, I wanted to talk about cultural intelligence tips for April. So there's a lot of spring celebrations that happen. There's a really big festival in Thailand called Songkran. It's a Thai New Year festival. I've actually attended it here in the East Bay. I have a friend who's Thai, and he would invite us to the Thai temple, and they would have all this homemade Thai food. And it's basically, so they celebrate with food, and there's a lot of, they pray. I believe it's Buddha. I think they pray in front of Buddha, and then they have, like, it's a water gun, like it's like they celebrate, it's a water festival, but in the temple here, the kids would all shoot each other with water guns and stuff. So that happened in Thailand, but also in other parts of the world, from April 13th to 15th. Then of course we know that this is a cherry blossom season. San Francisco had a cherry blossom festival, but in Japan it's a big deal. They have a lot of cherry blossom festivals. And then, of course, besides Easter, which I spoke about earlier, and how Easter celebrated differently in different parts of the world, was, with candy and stuff. There was also the end of Ramadan, which this year happened in April. So there was Eid, and then there was also the Passover. So these are some of the festivals very often related to spring. But before you attend or reference a holiday, understand its cultural and religious significance. And when in doubt, ask people respectfully, like, because some people mix up Ramadan with Eid, and it's so, if you're not, people are always open, say, I'm sorry, but I just want to ask you more about this. Would you mind sharing? If you ask respectfully about a festival, or how do I dress for this? I think I mentioned I went to one of the Ramadan, when they break the fast, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten the name right now, but I asked the lady who invited me, how do we dress? Do we need to bring anything? Is there any, like, they break their fast with a date, they eat a date, and then they eat the regular food. So just keep that in mind. And of course, if you're traveling or moving to another country, keep the, April, as I mentioned, has all these holidays. So are there, long weekends? Are there closures? Like here, here in the US, for Easter, some schools and businesses close. I'm sure in in some of the countries where Islam is the main religion, I'm sure they have closures for to celebrate Eid. I have a virtual assistant who's Muslim in Malaysia, and of course she took time off during uh, the Eid celebrations to celebrate with her family. And then, of course, we think about spring, like here, even in the US, spring is different in different parts of this of the country. In some countries, you don't even have spring. They might just have one or two seasons. So you think, oh, it's spring, so I'll wear spring clothes. So it might be rainy in Tokyo, hot in Dubai, or chilly in some countries in Europe. So again, what are the dress norms, right? To strike the right balance, and not just in spring, but for instance, in Japan, it's people are more respectful in the way they dress. It's not, they don't like revealing clothes, and so it's something to keep in mind. When I went to Japan, I dressed differently, even though it was hot. I did wear shorts, but but when you go to the temple, they want you to cover your shoulders and your legs. And I know in Italy, in the churches, and also in other places like the Taj Mahal in India, the way you dress is important. So even though we're talking about spring, there's something to keep in mind. And then, about certain holidays, for instance, April Fool's Day in some countries, including the US and even India, you can fool people, you can play a prank on April Fool, but maybe in some countries they don't do that, and you play a prank on someone, you say, oh, happy April Fool's Day, and they might take it the wrong way. let me know if you have any thoughts on anything that I just shared over here. All right. And so, since I'm also a LinkedIn coach, one other thing I want to share, which I will share every month in this news roundup, is on LinkedIn new features. So if you go to if you live in the US and you go to your LinkedIn app on your phone and you go to the search bar and you scroll down, you will sometimes LinkedIn will share breaking news. So initially they launched the breaking news only in the US. Sorry, my I need some water. So they initially launched this or rolled it out in the US, Canada, and India. Usually the US, because LinkedIn is, based here, we normally get we normally get the features first, and then India is, I think, the after the US, India is the second largest market for LinkedIn. So then they usually share stuff there. So the breaking news banner was first introduced only in the US, Canada, and India, and it's really helpful because, like, I did look up breaking news when I was creating this video, but there was nothing really related to expats. But now they've rolled it out in the UK and Australia. So you just now within the US, it seems very sporadic. You go to your search bar and you scroll down and you see news, LinkedIn news. Sometimes you see breaking news, sometimes you won't see breaking news. But why it's helpful for people who create content on LinkedIn is you can, you if you see the breaking news, you can create a post or you can comment on the breaking news, and LinkedIn might feature your content. So for people looking to build their visibility, trying to build their network, commenting on a breaking news story on LinkedIn or resharing it with your thoughts or creating your own content can get you featured. But again, be strategic about it. If it's not really relevant to your audience, then don't comment. Or I mean, you can, but again, be very strategic. If you have limited time, don't just comment on every breaking news story if it's not relevant, because you want to create content, you want to comment on posts as much as possible, you want to share posts that are of interest to your target audience. My target audience are, talented, ambitious, high achieving, purpose driven women living abroad, who or women who have relocated or want to move abroad or are globally minded, who are also interested, besides, living abroad and breaking glass ceilings abroad and creating impact and influence and income, they are also interested in LinkedIn. So that's my target audience. So I would only, if there's something that I think is relevant to my audience in the breaking news or regular news, then I'd comment or reshare it. All right. And then finally, we're almost at time. I wanted little news about the expat woman, what happened in April. So we hosted a huge, not huge, but it was like a very engaging, a beautiful event on March 31st. So the last day of March for Women's History Month, we had an International Women Leaders event in San Francisco. Lana, who's watching this, was there, and so was Marlena. I don't know if anyone else watching this live stream or the replay was at the event. Let me know either in the chat or the comments. But after that, people loved the event so much. After the event was done, or the second week of April, and even now, people, a lot of the guests shared photographs and their feedback and their the takeaways from the event. So they shared that on LinkedIn and would tag me, would tag the expat woman, and there was so much engagement, there was so much excitement. People are still commenting on some of those posts. So uh, even though the event happened in March, all the feedback and testimonies came after that. So it was a great event. The next event is in June, on June 11th, to celebrate Immigrant Heritage Month. It's going to be a multicultural event with multicultural panel talking about, cultures and countries and how, all that good stuff. And there's going to be food from different countries as well. I'll share a link to that as well in the description. And then so every month, so I also have the Expat Woman membership. It's our paid membership. So we have the larger Expat Woman community, and then we have the Expat Woman membership, where it is for, again, the very target audience, purpose driven women, high achieving women who want connection, collaboration, opportunities to build their visibility. And the goal is to help them, elevate their ideas, their influence, impact, and income. And every month we have a theme inside the Expat Women membership, and this month the theme was collaboration, really encouraging our women inside our membership to connect with each other and collaborate. So we created a new group for our members to welcome new members in, because we had a bunch of new members join us, and Malena is one of our fairly new members. She joined in March. We brainstorm, we do virtual meetups 2 times a month, and we brainstorm. Someone has a project, someone has an idea, someone wants feedback, someone wants to just share challenge they're facing. We come together to share and support each other. And then I got our members to collaborate on a blog post about networking in person events in the country they live in, or countries they've lived in, or country they currently live in. Then I created that blog post. Then every month we have at least one member do a master class to share their expertise, share their knowledge, their skills. And this month, Julia Marks, one of our very active members, did a master class on creating high value offers that sell, how to leverage Alex Hormozy's $100 million offers formula masterclass. And that was, again, very well attended. And it's a kind of collaboration, because the member creates the masterclass, and then other members come together to listen to it, give them feedback, ask questions, and support the member hosting the masterclass. Because sometimes they want to get the confidence to host a masterclass. Sometimes when you teach a workshop or a masterclass, you have to do your own research. So it's a great learning experience as well. And then, of course, building the confidence to teach one in a safe, supportive environment, sharing your skills, getting testimony, so then you can do it outside with the larger community and say, I had the experience teaching it to the members of the Expat Women membership. So that's a little news from the Expat Women. So if you joined later, you can watch the beginning. I did spend a little time at the beginning saying, can you hear me? Because this is the first time I'm doing it without my headphones and just with the microphone and I have a little, I forgot what it's called. It prevents you it's like they call it a spit something. I don't know if I can show it to you guys in the video. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's so, yeah, I don't know what you call this thing. Yeah. Anyway, so that, yes, this is as much as it can. So I put it in front of the microphone. So yeah, I'm just learning. So I'm learning as I go with yeah, with YouTube, because and that's why sometimes it's good, if you want to try something, you need to start doing it, not waiting to be perfect, because you learn every time you go. Like I said, the first time I'm not using headphones. I'm just like every that I get clear on things. I've never done product reviews live, but I love food. I love international food. I like trying out different products. I like trying out apps, anything to make life fun and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Marlena said testing as you go. You have to test as you go. And you guys have been wonderful. Like this time Lana has joined us. Marlena's always there, and Edelweiss has, I think, been coming for a lot of these lives. So even if you have a small group, or even if you're by yourself, it's a Kaizen method. You get 1% better every time. And you just be authentic and own it, and ask people for feedback, and just keep going, because that's how we learn. And the whole expat world, international living, different cultures is so fascinating. I'm just fascinated by it. So it also pushes me to learn. Like, this is the first time I've ever done this kind of live with covering product reviews, trends, expat news, but it was exciting to dive into that. And this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, because I do watch the news a lot. I love when they have some news, and then they share something special, and then sometimes they even review products, and I wanted to try the format. So I was able to do it, and I want to thank you all. So if you did enjoy this video, please hit the like button. And I know you've been commenting in the chat, but it'll help even more if you leave a comment, because the more comments I get on these YouTube videos, the more the video gets shown to more people, because there's more engagement. So do leave a comment after this is done. And if there's any trends, news, products, apps that you think I should share, because I'm going to do this on the last Thursday of every month, at least for April is done, for May and maybe June. July might be traveling, so it'll be harder. I'd love any insights from you, and also share this video. And next month is May. Next Thursday is the 1st of May, and I'm in May. The theme, at least inside our membership, is transformational travel. So I'll also be doing themes around how travel can improve your cross cultural intelligence, cross cultural skills, cultural intelligence. Being a temporary or expat when you travel, places to travel. So any ideas, thoughts, share that in the comments as well. And next Tuesday, no, next Wednesday, I think. I'll have to look it up. I'm going to do a YouTube live stream. Uh, Ask me anything about LinkedIn, because as I told you, I'm also a LinkedIn coach. It will not be on the Expat Woman YouTube channel. It'll be on my LinkedIn YouTube channel. I will share a link to that as well. So if you have questions about LinkedIn, about content, about your profile, about how to build your network, I will be doing a free LinkedIn YouTube live stream. Ask me anything office hours on LinkedIn. All right, we are at 10 a.m. Have a wonderful rest of the day. I hope to see you at the LinkedIn YouTube live stream, and also next month, every Thursday in May, for my live streams at 9 a.m. PST. Bye.